The squad is the big homie SB23 back at you with some more words of wisdom. Today we're going to talk about not being afraid to love. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. SB23 on YouTube, Chosen123 on YouTube. I appreciate each and every one of y'all for tapping in, watching the videos, interacting. It means a lot to me, and I'm having a good time with this, so I'm gonna keep it rolling. And I'm thankful for everybody that does take the time out of their day to watch the videos and soak up some knowledge, some gems. So I'm hoping y'all having a good day, and I'm sending love out your way. So, not being afraid to love. There's many different reasons why people in their life shun love away from them. It could be because of something that happened to them when they were a child, traumatized. Maybe if you're not, well, I guess that is a trauma within itself. Even if something physically didn't happen to you that traumatized you, maybe it was just a lack of having love poured onto you in the proper way in your childhood. So let's say if you had an absentee parent, that's another way that you could develop these behaviors of shunning love away from you instead of accepting it. And I mean true love too. I don't mean like fake stuff. I don't mean surface level things. I mean like actual genuine love. So it could be that, it could be that maybe you were in love and somebody broke your heart, and now because that person broke your heart, now you the whole idea of love, it was such a betrayal to you now that the whole idea of love is completely out of your realm of, or your comfort level. Like you don't even want to open yourself back up to that because you were so invested into this thing, and it ended up hurting you so much that you feel the need to not be a part of anything like that at all. You would rather have something that is safe, I guess, safe in your mind than to actually open yourself back up to something real. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's what, and we've all been through a lot of those things, you know what I'm saying? Again, if you're somebody who, during your childhood, maybe somebody took advantage of you physically, that can definitely and they were using love as a way to get to you. Their love for you is a way to get to you, manipulating you through love. Then, but not, again, that's not real love, because when you really love somebody, you don't manipulate them in a negative way. To use them or to abuse them. You cherish them and you treat them with kindness. But you want to, if that happened to you in your childhood or anything like that, then that could be a reason as to why you may feel the way you feel, or why people will shun love away from them, because the love that they were shown came with some negativity under it. Like the energy behind the love wasn't pure. So when they were shown the love, it wasn't coming from a pure place. It was coming from a place of using this love in order to use this whoever it was that was the victim in such a way that it scars them for their life. It's something that they won't forget. So now they have a hard time trusting people, and that's part of love too. Like when you love somebody, it almost is as if that you have to put your trust, like truly love them, you got to put your trust into them. So I think that's why it hurts so bad when somebody does you wrong, because if you're walking within that pure love, like you really are showing genuine love, when somebody crosses you, it's like, yo, I can't believe that this person would do that to me, when I'm being real and genuine, and I'm being vulnerable. Because that's the thing too, like when you're showing love, it can leave you in a vulnerable state if you don't have healthy boundaries set up. So Again, it could be from that, and that's often the reason as to why there's a lot of narcissists within the world, because they're not shown love properly as children. So then when they grow up into adults, they don't understand what it is to love, to actually love in a real way, in a pure way. So they think that whoever did whatever to them, how they move, they think that's how everybody moves. So since they didn't have any control within that situation when it happened to them as a child, the way that they combat that in their lives is they like to be in control of everything within their life, so that that situation can't happen again. And oftentimes these people don't even know that consciously that's how they're moving. It's a subconscious thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like whenever anybody gets hurt in life, whenever your love is betrayed, you build up this subconscious barriers within yourself and subconscious habits that you work within in order to avoid that pain again. You know what I'm saying? Because again, oftentimes the people who hurt us the most are the people who we love the most, because we have the most emotion tied up into that person and those people. So they hold the keys to your heart, really, like literally. And that's why there's so many people who have mother and father issues, because we naturally love the people who create us, because our DNA is built up from them. So it's like you come into the world, you naturally have love for them, because you are literally a clone of these two beings. Like you are yes, you're yourself, but you're yourself in spirit, but your genetic makeup is of these two beings. So it makes sense as to why there is always a connection between you and your mother or father, regardless of your relationship, because their literal essence is you. So how could you not? How can it not be some point? So that's why even when people, people who have issues with their mother and father, they have issues with them, or anybody, like anybody within your type of relationships, but especially within those dynamics. People will have their issues with their mother or father, or whatever the case may be, or son or daughter, but underneath that, there's that love. Like the love always ends up shining through at some point, regardless of how the relationship dynamic is. At some point, that love always it shows itself, because it's just there naturally. So. But yeah, that's a big reason as to why there is a lot of people who become narcissists or avoidance, or create any of these type of behavioral patterns, because something happened to them. They were mistreated by somebody who they genuinely love and trusted, and then what happens is they then create they then repeat the pattern to people who in their life. So you'll notice like a lot of people who suffer from those type of things, you either do one or two things. You either overcome it and you don't act in the same manner as whoever victimized you, or you do the exact same thing that they did to the people around you, because in somewhere in your mind that is what you think everybody is doing in the world. You thinking everybody's manipulating, or everybody is taking advantage of, or whatever the case may be. And again, that's a way to be in control too. Since they didn't have control in that situation, in order to be able to control something, they make sure that they close off that actual, like the core of themselves. They close that off. And they give the people around them in their lives, they give them a little piece of who they actually are, but not the full thing. So that's why if you're ever in those type of relationships, it may feel like you're being breadcrumbed, but that's because those people have been hurt so much that they don't trust easily or at all. Really, they don't trust at all. So in order to protect themselves, they will do what they have to do to get by, but never really open themselves up to an actual genuine connection to form. So, but then that's why you see those people bounce from relationship to relationship to relationship to relationship, because they're because when you're attracting somebody in, that other person, if they're not on that same wavelength, if they have worked on themselves, or they are working on themselves and healing, then at some point that other person is going to want more of the person who's not giving themselves up as much. You know what I'm saying? Who isn't putting as much into the relationship as the person who actually is there, like really showing genuine love. And then once that happens, then, you know, either that person will work on themselves and overcome that, or they'll run to another relationship, and you know, and have that relationship until that person figures them out. And then once that person figures them out, they run to the next one. It's a repeated pattern. You know what I'm saying? You can also repeat it. Now that's when you're talking about like narcissism. If you're just talking about somebody in general who doesn't have that, who isn't that far gone as far as emotional control, because narcissists don't have emotional control. You know, they just fly off the handle and live off of impulsive decisions. They don't really have the intuition that you would need in order to see things coming before they happen. So they don't have the ability to really think down the road with how their actions are going to affect their lives. They only live in the now moment. So that's what has them making these rash decisions. And because they are emotionally damaged, they don't do it. They don't make these decisions from a place of like a balanced mindset, or like a place of like a logical, analytical way. It's normally off of a fleeting emotion, but within that moment, however they're feeling is what they're gonna run with. So they run with that, and then until they get snapped back to reality. And it happens every once in a while. They'll get snapped back to reality of how things actually are. But then because of the damage that they've undergone, they don't like to be outside of their safe zone, which is the world in their mind that they created to keep them safe from the outside dangers of the world. But what often happens is they end up being a danger to everyone themselves, because they never tap into who they truly are. It's a facade that they're putting off, and because they won't work on themselves, it not only trickles into their lives, but into the lives of their loved ones. And then that's what ends up happening, to where they will hurt somebody who maybe they might not even intentionally mean to do it, but it's just because of the behaviors that they've built up that it just happens that way. Now, there are some narcissists out there who actually do mean to hurt people, but that's not everybody, you know. So with that understanding of how these things work, when it comes down to your emotions and everything like that, you got to understand that everything happens for a reason, and a lot of the things that happen to you is something that's trying to show you something within your life and make you stronger. And if you don't pick up on that lesson right away, then it'll just keep happening over and over. So it'll, like, again, like I was saying in one of my most recent videos, it'll become to where you're like on a hamster wheel, because you keep going through the same situation over and over and over. And instead of just stopping, taking some time to get off the wheel, understand what's going on, and do something different, so that you're not just spinning on this wheel, there's a lot of people who will run quicker away from whatever it is that they should be working on. So they run away faster and faster and faster, but they really don't go anywhere, because they're still stuck in that same loop of life, doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result, and that's the definition of insanity. So I say that to say this, but everybody can turn it around. So if you understand what your situation is, like I said, you don't have to be a full-blown narcissist or anything like that. What if you were just somebody who was pure of heart, but or is pure of heart, but you went through a situation or many situations to where it made you question how you could trust anybody, or how you could open yourself back up to love again, to receiving love from somebody. All you have to understand is that, again, those people who hurt you, at their core of core, probably didn't even mean to really do it. It's just whatever they were dealing with within their situation that drove them to had some phone storage issues, but we're back. But like I was saying, yeah, whatever happened to them drove them to move in that way. But that's okay, because at the end of the day, that's something that they got to work on. That's not a testament to like your value or anything like that. And again, if you were law of attraction, if you were giving out and showing pure positive energy, then that's going to come back to you. So you want to leave yourself open for that love to come back to you, so that you can collect on that, because you didn't just do that for no reason. You were doing that because you really care for that person. So the universe is going to send you somebody who's going to care for you in the same way. You just have to be open to that. You know what I'm saying? So even if it feels like that maybe you wasted your time or energy, you really didn't. You're always going to get back what you put out at some point in your life. So you have to remain open to the idea of love, actual love, being real. Understand that not everybody's going to do you dirty. There are trustworthy people out there, honest people out there who want the best for you and want to see you loving life and enjoying life. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to bring you down in any way, because they're feeling down on the inside. They want to build you up just as much as they want to build up themselves. So yeah, love is powerful too. So that's again, like I said in one of my other videos, love conquers all. So you know, we all been through it though. We all have had that person you were really feeling or into, and it didn't work out for whatever reason. even if it was a mutual agreement that y'all wasn't gonna be together anymore. It may not have been super deep to where like somebody cheated or somebody, you know, stabbed you in the back or whatever the case may be. It might just been a mutual thing of like, you know, we love each other, but it seems like we need to separate because of, you know, maybe cultural differences, or maybe whatever the case may be. You know, there's plenty of reasons to why people separate, but it's okay, because as long as you remain open and you continue to spread the love and positivity, it'll find its way back to you, and then before you know it, you'll be embarking on a new journey with somebody new. And even if you don't jump right into it right away, you start talking to them and getting to know them, and seeing how your energies mesh, and then from there, you know, you could build that connection. So that's all it's about. You know, don't get too hung up on this life stuff. I understand it when you're in it, it feels, in the moment, it feels really deep. It feels like it's a hard thing you're going through and all this other stuff. But when you come out of that and you look back at it, you're like, man, it really wasn't that big of a deal. At the end of the day, it didn't kill you. So, you know, you just leave yourself open up to the idea. Don't kill your dreams of how you would like your relationship to look with anybody because of a previous one that you had. You know, take some lessons from that situation, work on yourself, grow, get stronger, hold yourself accountable, think about the things you could have done better within that situation. And if you're walking within genuine, true love, like you really are showing true love out here in this world, it'll find its way back to you, and it'll find its way back in unexpected ways. You know, it'll be people who you wouldn't even imagine, who notice you or who appreciate you, more than the people who you would expect to have had appreciated you. You know what I mean? Because there's some people out here in this world who hate people who would give their lives for them. You know what I'm saying? Like there's people in this world who want to destroy people who have physically protected them in their life at one point. You know what I'm saying? And think about that. Think about that what I'm saying. Well, the phone died on me too, so we back though. Think about what I'm saying though. There are people in this world who want to destroy love. You know what I'm saying? That's how much hate they have in their heart and pain that they've gone through. And that's what I'm saying. Think about it. And I'm speaking from experience of there are people literally out in the world who I have physically protected in situations, like put myself in the middle of a situation so that to protect them, but somehow along the line that genuine love and care is taken for something else, and then they end up wanting to destroy the same person who just protected them. You know what I mean? Literally. That's what I'm saying. That's what you got to think. That's what you have to understand, is like some people are so hurt within themselves and they don't work on themselves that they will destroy or try to destroy somebody who doesn't want anything for them but the best, and to see them succeed in life, and even more than that, would be willing to put their life on the line to protect these people. But yet and still, they spend their time wanting to see you in pain, wanting to see you fail, wanting to see you down bad, even though your whole goal of being around and being within these people's lives was to uplift them, to see them do better in life, to see them grow, to see them win, because you just want them to be happy at the end of the day. Think about that. Now, that's something you really got to think about. Again, there's people out there who I physically protected, like literally gotten to in between them in a situation that could have gone bad for them had I not been there. But on the latter end, what did they show me? Nothing but dishonesty and betrayal. You know what I'm saying? So, and those things just happen. But again, why do they happen? Because those people they're not working on what they need to work on within their lives. They're not healing themselves, so they can't see things through a clear lens. You know what I'm saying? They're only seeing it from an egotistical place, and you have to kill that ego. Like one of my videos I made recently, when you got to kill an old version of yourself, that's what I was talking about. You got to kill that ego, because the ego will have you thinking something's a certain way that is not. You know what I'm saying? And then it'll have you messing up your own situations. You know what I'm saying? Because it'll have you burning bridges with people who didn't want nothing but the best for you and the people around you. And all they did was be there for you and the people around you. But because you have so much hate for yourself or shame or whatever it is within you that you're not healing, it's spilling over into your life, and you are mistaking somebody's good deeds for bad deeds. You know what I mean? So, and that's what comes with that when you're in those lower energies, when you're walking within that darkness, it's hard to get that up off you. Even when somebody's coming in trying to help you come from out of that darkness, you know, you are so, again, depending on what experiences you've had in your life, you might be so hurt and so much so fragile that again, you don't want to, it's easier to not come from that space that you're comfortable in, and to actually have to look at yourself and say, okay, I know I need to do this, or need to do this, or I need to take this accountability. It's easier to create this whole scenario in your mind in order to keep things the way that you want them to be, where they're comfortable for you. You know what I mean? But Yeah, that's all I'm saying, y'all. You know, don't be afraid to love. Don't be afraid of love. Even if something happened to you in your life and it really hurt you, leave it where it's at. You know what I'm saying? Okay, that was that situation, but not everybody is like that person who did it to you. And again, even if it's a mutual thing, nobody did anything to anybody else, but you just split. But you know that maybe you shared maybe you shared a bunch of years with this person, and they really meant something to you. So having that breakup within itself, or that separation, that'll cause an impact on your life. Don't be afraid. That's not that situation is not the end all be all. You know, it ain't over until you ain't in this realm no more physically. You know what I'm saying? As far as this experience that you're having within this vessel, it's not over until you're no longer in this vessel. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying don't feel the feels, because we all have to feel our feels. I think when you fight the feels is when you have an issue. When you feel it, but you move through it, you don't sit in it. That's the key. You feel it, but you don't sit within it. You feel it, you take it in, you feel it, you allow yourself that time to feel it, but then you say, okay, at some point you say, all right, I gotta move on and do better. Like this isn't where I want to be at, and this isn't the energy that I want to be expressing to the people around me either. Like I don't want to bring them down with my stuff. And that's not to say that you create a false sense of anything because you're worried about how other people are going to take it. I'm just saying in general, if you're feeling some sort of way, feel the feels, but don't sit within the feels so much so that it takes over you, and now you can't get from under those feelings. You know, if you're carrying the same feelings within yourself for years on end, you need to really sit back and look at your situation, because you're sitting within those feelings, you keep attracting the same type of people, so you're going to keep having the same type of relationships, or maybe you do attract somebody else who's completely different, but because you have these same behavior patterns, you're going to do the same thing you would normally do in a situation with this person, but not knowing that this person isn't like everybody else. So you really just ended up messing up your own blessing at the end of the day. And again, it might have been somebody who was actually put in your life to be different from everybody else, but you know, and showed and proved it too. Like showed and proved that they were going to be by your side no matter what, until you pushed them to a point that they literally had no choice but to say, okay, I see where we're at. You know, I'm gonna allow you to do what you got to do. You're gonna allow me to do what I'm gonna do, and we're not gonna, you know, we're not gonna go back and forth with the drama thing. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's it, y'all. You know what I mean? Don't trip. Like I said, my videos, don't trip if something happens. You know, feel your feels. Don't trip about it. Heal, and then open yourself back up to receiving more love. You know what I'm saying? It's not wrong, but yes, create healthy boundaries so that certain things won't happen to you again. Healthy boundaries, I'm saying, not boundaries that are a detriment to you, that is keeping the love out, but healthy boundaries. You don't just want to let people in so easily that they hurt you, but you also don't want to create such a fortress that nobody could get in, and then at that point now you grow bitter because you're not really feeling the love that you want to feel. But that's your own fault, because you got this fortress up, you know, and you're not showing anybody the real genuine you. You're showing them glimpses of it, but you're not giving it out when it's needed to be out there. And again, if you are let's say if you're somebody who doesn't understand or who hasn't received love properly in your childhood, then you gotta talk to somebody about that, or find a way to work on it within yourself, and then you'll be able to overcome that, and then you will attract somebody in your life who is going to show you that genuine love. Or like I said, if you're working on it, then yeah, when that person comes in, you'll know how to handle them. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta understand that there's not a lot of people out there like that too. You know, as much as we would love to think that there's you know, we all have all these different options that we can go to. Really, at the end of the day, You're only gonna come across people who genuinely care for you, like genuinely, like who really are gonna be there when you need them, and aren't just there because they're getting something out of the scenario. You're only gonna find that here and there, you know what I'm saying? It's very rare. So if you have somebody like that within your life, you don't just toss that to the side or treat it in a way to where as though you make that person feel like they don't mean anything to you, because that's first off, that's the worst thing you can do to anybody. And then second off, then you know, karma is real, so karma's gonna come back to you, and then you're gonna attract somebody who's gonna treat you just the way that you just treated this person you were with. So, but that's some words of wisdom from the big homie, y'all. Keep your hearts open, you know what I'm saying? Have healthy boundaries, but don't shun the love away, because love conquers all. And that's the whole reason why we're here anyways. You know, we're here to experience different things, different feelings, different emotions. But for the most part, we want to enjoy life. And what is one of the most enjoying things about life is love. You know what I mean? Don't get better than that. Whether you're loving on your kids, you know, your loved one, your mother, your father, sister, brother, your animals, whatever it is, your job, whatever it is that you are working on, or what you got in your life. Ain't no better feeling than having that real genuine love right there. Somebody who really cares and who's gonna be down for you no matter what. You know what I'm saying? But all right, y'all, I'm out of here.